And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today, as always. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Takes by Fans and be a part of the conversation. And come watch live Monday through Friday, noon Eastern at twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. Alrighty, y'all. We waited over 100 days for the season to resume. Then we had to endure some scrimmages. You know, every team got 3 scrimmages, and it was just like, all right, can we finally get some real competition? And then the real competition came, and the seeding games came, and it was kind of crazy. The Suns went 8-0. The Nets won a couple games. Insane. I never thought I would have said that. What do we got? The Lakers securing the 1 seed. The Bucks securing the 1 seed in the East. Lakers in the West. Clippers, Lou Williams having to go get some wings at a strip club. He had a quarantine, missed some games. Just overall, really wild. Damian Lillard, oh my God, really took over the league. Absolutely incredible what he's done. Carmelo Anthony clutching it up basically in every single game. He played a huge 3 in the fourth to either tie the game or close the lead a little bit. It's been absolutely crazy so far in the bubble, and now the playoffs. We finally get the NBA playoffs, what we've all been waiting for. We have some good matchups. We have some not so good matchups. We'll get into all that today. So we're going to break down the matchups, the playoff matchups today, East to West. Got them all because they start today. We got to get it right into it. And then we do have our bubble awards that we are going to hand out. Yes, okay, does everybody need a participation ribbon? I get the argument. I don't want to hear it. Yes, this has nothing to do with the other 60-something, 57, whatever games that they left off on. This is just the 8 games that we are breaking down that we saw. They took a 4-month break off. All right, let's give them a little bit of a break. These awards are obviously meaningless because they're coming by Takes by Fans, so they obviously mean nothing already. And yes, they are just bubble season awards. So let's get right into it. We are gonna do. Let's start with the Rookie of the Year award. Just for the bubble, it was really up between John Morant and Michael Porter Jr. The man's been absolutely dominant scoring wise. Michael Porter Jr. has, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year for the bubble. I know y'all are probably saying John Morant, but his stats didn't lead to wins. The Grizzlies had the 8th seed in the West coming into the bubble, and they lost the 8th seed, and then they lost the play-in tournament, the first game. They didn't even really have a chance in that game anyway. So Michael Porter Jr. and the Denver Nuggets, they've been winning games. They what they got? They got the 6th seed. Hang on. No, they got the 3 seed, y'all. They kept that 3 seed. So we're going to give the MVP or the Rookie of the Year award to Michael Porter Jr. 22 points, 9 rebounds on 55% shooting from the field and 42% shooting from the 3. Absolutely incredible what he's done here in the bubble. He seized his opportunity and he has just ran with it. He's going to be a starter from here on out just because of how well he's been playing, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. John Morant, very close, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. The stats were very good for John Morant here in the bubble, but they just didn't translate to wins, and that's why I have to kind of give the favorite to Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, John Morant, fantastic work here in the bubble, but you started in the 8th seed, you dropped down to the 9th seed, and then you didn't really show out too much in the play-in tournament. Didn't even get a 1 win. You play 2 games, try to get the first win, force it into the second game, winner take all, but unfortunately, you didn't do that. Just didn't translate to win, so I do have to give the, here it is, the Rookie of the Year award. Michael Porter Jr., well done. You deserve this. This is your award. Please send me your address, and I will get this out to you as soon as possible, all right? All right, somebody that knows Michael Porter Jr., please give me his contact information. All right, so we do Rookie of the Year. We are going to do Coach of the Year now, and a lot of people have been saying the Suns coach, which is respectable. I can understand that. But we're going to go a different way here on Takes by Fans. He's the only coach to be on the cash list at all. We have to give it to... Oh, he's not currently on the cash list. I had to take him off. No, he's still on here. Jacques Vaughn, the coach for the Nets. Absolutely fantastic job what he's done. So many players, key starting players not showing up to Orlando from Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant obviously not playing, DeAndre Jordan, a couple other big names for the Nets. Really, let's see if I can get their squad real quick. Joe Harris and Chris LeVert and who was it? Where is he? Jared Allen. Really, the only starting players that are here in Brooklyn, in Orlando. You had Chris Chiazza trying to come off the bench and start. That didn't work. It's really all been Joe Harris, Chris LeVert, and Jared Allen. And Jared Allen wasn't even starting in the regular season when DeAndre Jordan was healthy and playing. So you kind of had two starters and one bench player taking over the league. You beat the Bucks. You beat the Clippers. You got the 7th seed in the East. I love it. You started in the 8th seed. You climbed your way up to the 7th seed. Absolutely fantastic. You don't have to face the Bucks, which is a great consolation prize. Here in the playoffs. You have to face the Raptors. Still not probably going to win. Nick Nurse is a good coach, but I'm giving it to Jacques Vaughn. Absolutely well done. Coach of the year in the bubble. Well done, Jacques Vaughn. This award is for you. Please send me your address, and I will get this shipped out to you as soon as possible. Absolutely loved what Jacques Vaughn has done for this Brooklyn Nets team, and I have them winning one game in this series for the playoffs against the Raptors. We'll get into that a little later, but that's a little tease. They will win one game. All right, so we did Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year. Now let's do Clutch Player of the Year, and I got to give it to Carmelo Anthony. Absolutely stunning what this man has been doing in the league so far, coming out and starting for the Blazers here in Orlando, hitting clutch threes every game. I think you can just pick randomly one game in the fourth quarter. He's going to hit a big three, and I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to stick by what I just said. We can just take any game here in the bubble randomly. I'll pick a random game. We'll look at the highlights, and it will be Carmelo Anthony being clutch. I'm putting my reputation on the line by making this statement. I'm going to pick a random game here. Give me a date, y'all. Anybody here in the chat, give me a date. Give me a date. We're going to go this way. And if they're not playing, nope, they're right here. They're right here. Rockets, Blazers. We're going to watch the recap from this, and I am personally guaranteeing that Carmelo Anthony will hit a big clutch three in the fourth quarter. Here it is. We got to watch the ad first. Everybody go buy the McMuffin, the McGriddle, whatever that is from McDonald's right now. Breakfast is all day. Don't play with me. You can go get it. All right, Carmelo Anthony. What happened here? Oh, this is post-game. This is post-game. All right, hang on. We have to go back to that one. Hang on. I'm sorry. Where was it? Rockets, Blazers, right here. We're going to watch. Maybe I think I clicked on the wrong video. Game recap. Was that not game recap? I didn't do post-game. I clicked on game recap. I know I did. All right, here we go. Watch an ad. So you got to buy the McMuffin, and then you got to buy the Infinity as well if you are watching currently. Yeah, but Carmelo Anthony, absolutely clutch. I mean, huge fourth quarter threes, really. And then he's been scoring like almost 20 points on top of that. It's really been fantastic what he's been doing, showing out here. And the Blazers going 6-2. He's been, not obviously, Damian Lillard is obviously, the force, the focus, the number one scorer for this team, obviously. But let's get right into this. All right, here we go. Carmelo Anthony will hit a clutch bucket in the fourth quarter. Here we go. Random game. Did I tell you? Take a random game. I just did it. Take any random game in the bubble, and Carmelo Anthony will have a game-clinching, game-clutching fourth quarter late time three. What did he do? Blazers up 2 with a minute left and puts the dagger in him? Puts the absolute dagger in him? Don't play with me, y'all. Don't play with me. Carmelo Anthony, Clutch Player of the Year. There it is. Carmelo Anthony. Here you go. This is your trophy. Please send me your address, and I will get this out to you as soon as possible. All right. Don't play with me, folks. I told y'all that was random. I swear to God. Hand on the Bible, hand on whatever you want me to put my hand on. That was 100% legit. Random game. Carmelo Anthony, fourth quarter, late three. Clutchest player I've ever seen. And it's going to be a very fun matchup. 1-8 in the West. Lakers, Blazers. I cannot wait. that's going to be, that matchup's going to be great. All right, now I guess it's time for the big award, right? The MVP, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard. Who do we pick? It was hard. I really did struggle with this one because I always give wins over stats. If your stats aren't producing wins, I honestly do not care what you're doing. I don't care. So that's really where the discrepancy came in between for Damian Lillard or Devin Booker, who really deserves the MVP. The MVP of the bubble. Damian Lillard. Averaging 37 points, 4 rebounds, and 10 assists on 50% shooting. Absolutely astounding numbers. Fantastic what Damian Lillard led him to 6-2, fought all the way up to that A seed spot, and then ends up winning the play-in game. So well done to Damian Lillard all around and the Blazers. That supporting cast is very well put together, but Damian Lillard has been on an absolute tear here in the bubble. And then you've got Devin Booker, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, also on 50% shooting from the field, and he led his Suns team to 8-0 and did everything he possibly could in his manageable, everything that he could actually control. Went 8-0, won all the games, and then unfortunately fate had different plans for them. They finished with the 10th seed. Absolutely fantastic. They started at the 13th seed, y'all. They came in at the 13th seed, and the Pelicans now have it. Rip the Pelicans. But the Suns fought their way all the way up to 10th seed. This close. If only the Grizzlies or Blazers lost. Unfortunately, for the Suns, the Grizzlies faced the Bucks, and the Bucks had nothing to play for. So that is just truly unfortunate for the Suns, but can't take anything away from Devin Booker. Now, without this one stat, if we weren't counting the assists, if we were just doing points and rebounds, I would have given the MVP to Devin Booker for going 8-0. I would have taken 30 points and 5 rebounds on 50% shooting over 37 points and 4 rebounds on 50% shooting and going 8-0 for Devin Booker if it wasn't for the assist stat. Damian Lillard, 37 points and 10 assists. The man has been absolutely fantastic, contributing most of their points just by him, by one player, scoring 37 and then 10 assists, so that's at least probably 20 points there. So he's putting up 57 points total under Damian Lillard to win games and fight his way up. They were coming in, I believe they were the 10th seed coming in. 10 or 11. It was either Spurs or I think they were the 10th seed coming in. They were able to claw and fight their way up. Well done. They end up getting the A seed outright. So if it was just regular rules going into the bubble, they would have won. But new rules, the play-in tournament. If the 9th seed was within 4 games of the 8th seed, then there's a play-in tournament, 2 games. 8th seed would have to win 1 game. 9th seed would have to win both games. And then for that final A spot. So well done to the Blazers and Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, MVP. This award is for you. Please send me your address and I can get this out to you as soon as possible. But just absolutely fantastically well done by Damian Lillard. Going 6-2. Not as good as 8-0 by Devin Booker. If Devin Booker, obviously, if they got into the playoffs because of it, then hands down Devin Booker. But Damian Lillard, well done. 37 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists on 50% shooting. Just absolutely amazing. Once again, we can just take any random Trailblazers game, and it would be Damian Lillard absolutely going off. So well done to all those. We did Rookie of the Year, Michael Porter Jr., fantastic job, well done. Coach of the Year, we're doing Jacques Vaughn with the Nets. I mean, beating the Clippers and the Bucks, securing that 7th seed, you're winning games. Not a good situation coming into the bubble, not having all your players there, not having your key pieces there, and you somehow pull off some wins and secure the 7th seed. Fantastic coaching job, Jacques Vaughn. Then we had Clutch's Player of the Year, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, the film spoke for itself. Random film, put it on, you'll see it. He's there. And then we have our MVP, Damian Lillard. Fantastic job. 37 points and the 10 assists really to go with it. Absolutely well done. To all those that stunted, that showed out here in the bubble. All right. So now that we've gotten a look at that, let's break down the playoff games here that we are expecting today. There's going to be 4 games on every day. 1:30, 4 o'clock, 6:30, and 9 o'clock. Get used to those times. It's 4 games every day for the first round, and then it will drop down to 2 games every day and then 1 game every day. It will get more depressing as we go on, but hey, we can enjoy some 4 games every day for at least, a week and a half, possibly 2 weeks. So we've got great stuff to look forward to. As I said, 1:30, 4 o'clock, 6:30, and 9. Those will be when the games are being played. Alrighty, so we'll start in the East, the kind of worst conference. I mean, we don't really have too many great matchups, but let's get right through it. All right, here we go. We're going to do official predictions and talk about it. So the first one is the first seed Bucks facing the 8th seed Mavericks, or Magic. Aaron Gordon should be good to go. He's game time decision so far, but I expect he plays, and if he's not going to play in the first game, he will eventually play in the series. But I mean, this is going to be a no contest, right? No Jonathan Isaac for the Magic. They haven't really been looking good. They started 2-0, and then against the Nets and Kings, which they should won, and then they lose a couple straight. They lost to the Pacers, the Raptors, the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Nets, and then they win against the Pelicans. So they won 2 games. Lost 5. Aaron Gordon ended up getting injured against the Raptors, I believe, in their 4th game. So he wasn't there in their last 4, but it still wasn't really competitive. I mean, Vucevic is not going to be able to really wrap up Giannis down low, and the Magic don't have any consistent outside scoring to kind of challenge the Bucks. You really have to just outside shoot them out of the gym to win against the Bucks. You're not going to go down low. You're not going to go against Giannis. It's just not going to happen. You kind of have to hope that Chris Middleton doesn't show up for a game to steal a game as well. So the Magic, they just don't have those pieces. Aaron Gordon is great. Yes, I like him. I think he's good. I won't even say he's great. I think he's good. He's not your superstar that you can depend on to get a bucket. Nikola Vucevic, obviously not that either. He can possibly kind of challenge Giannis down low, kind of, but not really. He's going to get pretty much beaten in the paint every time. So the Magic, their roster just does not match up against the Bucks. I think this is just 4-0. I think the Magic are not competitive really at all. I think they get blown out most of the games. I'm talking 8+ point victory wins for the Bucks in all of these games. Obviously, no home court advantage. That is all gone. That's something that the Magic could have clung to, maybe stolen a game, but I don't see it happening. I have a 4-0 sweep. Let me see if I can get my pen real quick. Here it is. Let me write this down. We'll mark it. We're going to go 4-0 sweep for the Bucks. It's written, y'all. Y'all can request these. Y'all can audit me whenever y'all want. I got it written down. Bucks win 4-0. Really not competitive. That's what I'm saying about it. Alrighty, let's go to Raptors and Nets now. The 2 seed versus 7 seed, and I love this Raptors squad, y'all. Nick Nurse is doing an absolute fantastic job here with this cast of role players that are all just kind of meshing together. It's really brilliant to watch. Nick Nurse going from 58-24 last season when they won the championship with Kawhi Leonard. That was a .70 winning percentage. Now flash forward to this season, they are 53-19. That's a 73% win percentage. So you're getting rid of arguably one of the best two-way players in the league in Kawhi. Undoubtedly your best player on your team, and you're getting rid of them, and then your win percentage goes up by .03. That's not bad, y'all. That's all Nick Nurse. That's all coaching. I don't care what y'all say. That is all coaching 100%. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, OG Anunoby, just honestly getting it done as the starting squad for this Raptors team. And then we do have Norman Powell coming off the bench and making a real difference. Serge Ibaka also down low. Ibaka, he's a proven vet for this squad here coming off the bench. So usually for Toronto to win, all their starters need to be, in sync. They all need to put up the points. There's no one person that really does most of the scoring for them. Maybe Kyle Lowry can kind of take over a game and put up maybe high 30s, low 40s if they need it, maybe. But most of the time, majority of the time these games are played, it's all 5 players, all 5 starters putting in the work, and then you have decent performances by Norman Powell and Serge Ibaka. That's really all they have on their bench. So that's just all coaching. Well done by them. Then we go to the Nets, and I mean, Jacques Vaughn, Coach of the Year. We just gave it to him, but Joe Harris, Chris LeVert, yeah, they're kind of good, but that's really all they've got. Jared Allen, he's not bad as well, but then you got Chris Chiazza, Timothy Luawe Cabaret. He's had a couple good games here in the bubble. I'm not knocking him. Garrett Temple, Lance Thomas. I mean, the names just aren't there. They don't have that one superstar that you can really depend on to get you buckets, that your go-to guy. I think this series isn't going to be very competitive. It's just not. The Raptors are leaps and bounds ahead of this Brooklyn team. This Brooklyn team is kind of like the knockoff Raptors, right? No big scores. They really all need to play well. All 5 starters to play well to have a chance to win. Good coaching. Jacques Vaughn, we just gave him the award, able to scrounge some wins up here in the bubble, as we've said before. But they really just have to rely on Joe Harris and Chris LeVert. They've been starting all season. They know what it's about. They know what it takes to win a game in the NBA. So maybe they can steal one. I did say that they would get one game here. I think they get lucky. Maybe the Raptors aren't totally on one day. Maybe Jacques Vaughn has a trick up his sleeve. Maybe Timothy Luawe Cabaret goes off for 30 points in a big game. Or Chris LeVert. Karis LeVert, he had a fantastic game in their finale against the Trailblazers to possibly keep the Trailblazers out when the Nets only won by 1 point. So I think they could steal a game, so we are going to give them one, but it's going to be a gentleman's sweep, 4-1. We've got the Raptors moving on. I'm a big fan of this Raptors team. Their team ball is absolutely fantastic. Fred VanVleet really leading the charge there, being a true floor general, point guard captain, however you want to describe it, CP3-esque, if you will, because the Thunder are pretty much exactly like the Raptors, except they do have that one superstar, and their coaching is just not as good, but they also need all their 5 starters to go. We'll get into the Thunder. We are going to cover them as well. So, I got 4-1 Raptors winning. So let's move on to the 3-6. It's Celtics versus 76ers. And once again, I mean, this is going to be a no-doubt sweep. I'm big on the Celtics. Y'all know I'm big on the Celtics. They're starting 5. Oh, my God. Everybody every night can get it done. Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, Daniel Tice, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker should not be on minutes restrictions anymore heading into the playoffs. So he should be playing, 30 minutes a game. So I can't wait to see what he does in there. And then on the bench, you got Marcus Smart and Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter's coming off the bench. What world are we living in? Absolutely insane. Enes Kanter, a proven starter in the league. He can get it done, no doubt. And Brad Stevens and Nick Nurse are really right on the same level. If I had to pick a coach, I'd probably go maybe Nick Nurse just a little bit more because of the talent on his team's just a little bit lesser. So we can elevate his coaching just a little bit because of that. But Brad and Stevens right with Nick Nurse. Absolutely fantastic. No more Kyrie for the Celtics, which is a blessing for the Celtics because that man cannot be a leader no matter what. I don't want to hear it. Only worked when he had LeBron James and Kyrie. Kyrie's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong. He's the number 2, but he is kind of toxic in the locker room. That's why him and Kevin Durant with the Nets is just not going to work. Kevin Durant, I think, is a little bit of a follower, and Kyrie Irving is a hyper-aggressive leader that doesn't really translate into a locker room setting, into a really mentor kind of style setting. It just doesn't work. So a follower following a hyper-aggressive leader, it's not going to work in the Nets, but hey, that's a different argument. All we know is Boston is kind of better without Kyrie. That's kind of what we know. But yeah, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. I mean, literally, they can all put up 20 points a night and walk out of the gym with none of their bench players scoring at all and getting the win. So I'm a big fan on this Boston team. And then we go to the 76ers. No Ben Simmons. He's done. Joel Embiid is really all they got. Tobias Harris is the number 2 scorer now for the team. He's not really consistent. He hasn't shown any. He's shown us one good game in the bubble, and I honestly can't. It was like 27 points, I think, on 60% shooting maybe. It's just not going to be enough. I mean, they just don't have enough here. Al Horford coming off the bench, he is an ex-Celtic, so maybe he can give the team some insider information. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, Joel Embiid is not going to be able to get it done consistently. He's going to get locked up probably by Daniel Tice, I mean, if we're being real. So I don't want to go 4-0. I don't want to go 4-0 because I think Joel Embiid could have a game. I think he could have a fantastic game. 30 points, 15 rebounds, gets the win, close win late in the fourth. But no Ben Simmons. It's going to be real tough for them. Let me make sure Ben Simmons is still. I'm almost positive. I'm like 99% sure. I just do want to double check real quick. I'm pretty sure it was a very bad injury. Philadelphia, Ben Simmons, kneecap. Dislocated kneecap, I believe it was. He's expected to be out at least November, so absolutely done there. No Ben Simmons. That means you have to rely on Joel Embiid, which hasn't really fared well for them. So we are going to go Celtics 4-1. Got to give some teams a game. I mean, teams are smart. They figure it out. They figure out game planning. They all, they watch film. Coach breaks it down, provides a beneficial lineup for what they've seen before. So I think they could steal one game here, but it's really not going to be competitive because this Celtics team is ready to shoot lights out. I'm telling y'all, they're ready to put up the points. They pretty much have been kind of getting progressively better as the bubble games have played out. So, and plus Kemba Walker is going to be playing way more minutes. Watch out, y'all. Kemba Walker is it's not a huge upgrade from Kyrie Irving, but a leadership, a true point guard style player. It's a big upgrade over Kyrie Irving. Not talent-wise, not scoring-wise, but leadership and point guard position-wise, big upgrade for the Celtics. So I see a 4-1 win there, gentleman sweep, if they call it. They call it the gentleman sweep. All right, that brings us to the final matchup in the Eastern Conference, the Heat and Pacers. This one's going to be a little fun to watch. We'll see how far TJ Warren can carry this Pacers team. Pacers have been struggling to score over 100 points when TJ Warren isn't playing well, when he's not scoring at least 30. Pacers kind of struggle in the scoring column. They proved us wrong in, I think, their last bubble game. They scored over 100 and TJ Warren didn't play or something. But, I mean, do we really care? We have 7 games that tell us otherwise. So, and then you all know I'm big on the Heat. Their outside scores are just absolutely fantastic. Jimmy Butler is going to be playing now. He missed a couple of bubble games. I think he missed 2. Kendrick Nunn has really shown out here. Goran Dragic off the bench, absolutely fantastic. Tyler Hero. Derrick Jones Jr., he is a game-time decision. He's really came out in their last bubble game, but he ended up getting injured with a neck injury, but he should be good to go. He maybe miss 1 or 2 games here in the bubble in the playoffs, but he'll be good to go all around. Bam Adebayo having some great games. True force in the rebounding category for him. Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn. Kind of 2 big surprises here for the Heat. But then you got reliable Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler who can get it done. Andre Iguodala, it's time for playoff Iggy to arrive, and I expect him to do so. He's going to be a good contribution off the bench, not just scoring and rebounding and assisting wise, but just leadership wise. Knows what it takes to win in a 7-game series. He's proven it. Knows what it takes on the defensive end in the playoffs. So expect him to really shine here in the playoffs. We'll see if Myers Leonard will ever play. I don't know what's going on with him. I think he's good to go. He just hasn't played, right? Let me double check that. I think he is good to go. Myers Leonard, not even on the injury report. So just not playing for some reason that we are not aware of. I'm not aware of. If y'all are aware of, let me know. But then we go to the Pacers. They ended up facing in the bubble, and the Pacers didn't even put up 100 points. TJ Warren had an off night, and the Heat end up winning. Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic both played in that game, so you kind of figured that they would have won anyway. But here we go. TJ Warren, really their number 1 scorer. They need him to do well. Justin Holiday kind of not really doing too good either. Miles Turner, he's had a pretty good bubble stretch here. Great scoring and great down low with the rebounds. But other than that, who are y'all counting on this freaking bench, y'all? Doug McDermott? No. TJ McConnell? Maybe. But really, that's it. They need TJ Warren to put up 30. That's what they need him to do that every night. I think he will have some big games. We're not going to write off the Pacers team just like that. I do think the Pacers put up the best fight out of anybody else in the East for a lower seed trying to beat the upper seed. So I do have the Pacers Heat being a 4-2 win for the Heat. I just think their outside shooting is just going to be too much for the Pacers. They're not going to be able to catch up on a consistent basis. Yeah, maybe Miami has a bad game one time, but we're talking 7-game series, y'all. You have to keep that in mind. And TJ Warren, he's already proven that he can't do what he's done consistently in the bubble. They've played 8 games. I think he had a solid 4 or 5. We can say 5 just to give him the benefit of the doubt, but 4 or 5 games, and then he's had a lackluster other 3 games. So don't expect TJ Warren to go off every night, but I'll give him 2 games probably where he has a good scoring night, 30-plus points, where they are competitive into the fourth quarter. So we'll give the Heat the win. I'm big on the Heat. I'm big on the Heat. I love their scores. And that's what's going to really get it done here in the bubble. We've seen Damian Lillard scoring, ends up getting that playoff berth. We saw Devin Booker putting up points consistently, very much challenge the Grizzlies and Trailblazers for that 8th seed. So scoring really helps here in the bubble. If you have one person that can put up a ton of points, you have a chance to win the game. So that's how the bubble's being played. So expect TJ Warren and the Pacers they'll definitely win one game. I'll put whatever amount of money y'all want on them at least winning one game, but I do think they are able to steal a second game. We will give TJ Warren kind of the benefit of the doubt, and he will have a couple of good games. Alrighty, so that is the Eastern Conference matchups. We got a Bucks Magic sweep, 4-0 for the Bucks. Raptors Nets, we're saying 4-1 Raptors. I think Jacques Vaughn is going to be able to do something in at least one game. Celtics 76ers, maybe Joel Embiid can do something, but no Ben Simmons is going to hurt them. And the Celtics are just too good offensively. Their starters are good. And then you got Enes Kanter coming off the bench. So good bench players there. And then Brad Stevens, of course, just a fantastic coach. And then we just said the Heat win 4-2. Their outside shooters are just too good. That's all. And then TJ Warren, he's too heavily, the Pacers too heavily rely on him to have a good night. So 4-2 win for the Heat there. Let's move to the Western Conference, and boy, that 1-8 matchup in the West is something fierce. It's absolutely something fierce. Oh boy, we've got Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Nurkic, trying to do it big for the Blazers, trying to upset the 1-seed Lakers. This is going to be very interesting, y'all. Very, very interesting. LeBron James and Anthony Davis for the Lakers. I mean, they're obviously going to do their thing. Anthony Davis had kind of a couple lull games. LeBron was able to kind of get into his normal playing rhythm, kind of like the last 4, probably from games 3 in the bubble on. He was able to finally put up, those good amount of points, more than like 25 plus points and good rebounds and assist numbers. Anthony Davis had some big scoring games. He's had a couple of 30 plus scoring games, but he's also had like under 10-point games, which is a little bit concerning. JaVale McGee has kind of been a non-factor here. He's been getting outplayed mostly against everybody he's faced. He's not reliable. He's not putting up points. He's not putting up rebounds. That's not good. Danny Green, he's had a couple of not so great games, and they need Danny Green to hit those outside threes. They need him to be consistent. That's if you can have LeBron James and Anthony Davis carrying the load every night in and night out, you need Danny Green needs to be there for the clutch threes. That's all they need Danny Green for, so we'll see if he can keep it up. Kyle Kuzma has been having a very, very good season here in the bubble off the bench. He's kind of been their star player off the bench, pretty much consistent, reliable. whenever they need to get him done. He ended up hitting a game-winning 3 in one of these seeding games and just acted like y'all don't know what I do, and I love it. Alex Caruso, Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters has been a pleasant surprise here in the point guard position coming off the bench for the Lakers. Some good assist numbers, just some great defensive plays, just some great offensive plays in general as well. So I do like Dion Waiters. Now that Rondo, if he plays at all, it will be in the finals. He'll only be healthy if they make it to the finals. I do like Dion Waiters, though, as a decent replacement for Rajon Rondo in the playoffs. I do think Dion Waiters is going to have some good performances here, and I think he's going to be kind of a key factor in some of these wins. Keep an eye out for Dion Waiters here. And then we do have J.R. Smith. He's kind of up in the air. He hasn't really shown us anything too spectacular in the bubble game so far. No big highlights. No big moments in the bubble, so we'll see how he does. We know what happened last time LeBron and J.R. Smith were, in the bubble together, or on the same team in the playoffs, in the finals together. Did not end so hot. So we'll see if J.R. Smith can redeem himself. Dwight Howard's kind of been, all right, coming off the bench. Not great, not terrible. Just solid enough to possibly grab some wins. But other than that, it's got to be LeBron and Anthony Davis, and most importantly, it's got to be Anthony Davis. LeBron, he's proven himself. We don't have to doubt the man. He'll do what he does, and he'll come up big. But Anthony Davis, he's going to be a big key. So Anthony Davis, Danny Green, and Dion Waiters are the 3 key players that need to play very well for them to win. I have no doubts about LeBron James, and I have no doubts about Kyle Kuzma. Coming off the bench, he's going to get his. LeBron James is going to get his. It's just, can Anthony Davis be consistent? Can Danny Green be consistent? And can Dion Waiters make some good defensive plays when LeBron and Anthony Davis are resting? That's really what it's going to come down to for this Lakers team. Do I have the Blazers up? Yes, I do. Here we go. All right. Portland. Here we go. This starting lineup is kind of fantastic. Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Yusuf Nurkic, really kind of all getting it done. Can all put up 20. Easily can all put up 20-plus points. Carmelo Anthony has been clutch. We've just seen that. I talked about it. We gave him the Clutch Player Award for the bubble here at Takes by Fans. We just did a random sample, pulled out a random game, and that's Carmelo Anthony hitting a clutch fourth quarter 3. It's going to be interesting. Who's going to be more clutch, LeBron James or Carmelo Anthony? I honestly can't. I think this is going to be the best series. This is going to be the best series of the first round. The one knock on the Blazers is their last 4 games when they needed to win every single game, which they did. They won them very, very close. Very close. They won 1 point against the Nets. I think they won by 2 or 3 points against the Mavericks. In their final play-in tournament game, it was kind of close until the fourth quarter late. I think they pulled away pretty good. Ended up winning by 5 or 6, but the lead was kind of like 8-9 late in the fourth. Just some free throws, big threes by the Grizzlies to kind of make it a little bit closer than what it actually was late in the fourth. So yeah, I guess that would be their one knock, that they're playing teams very, very, very close. Whereas the Lakers, they've been kind of struggling as well in the win column. They've lost some games that they should not have lost. Here we go. They beat the Jazz. They beat the Clippers. Let me see if we can get their wins real quick, because I know that they did lose some kind of weird games. 1 second. It's going to be right here, y'all. Right here. We're back. We're on their schedule. We're good. What have they done? Not February. We're looking at June, early August, July, right here. All right, so they ended up beating the Clippers. That was a close game, but, their bench wasn't as impactful. Lou Williams was not for the Clippers. Then they lose to Toronto, struggling to put up over 100 points. They get the win against the Jazz, we just saw. Once again, back-to-back games, struggling to put up over 100 points. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis did play heavy minutes in all these games. Losing to the Pacers. I do believe T.J. Warren had a good game this time, though. We're not going to go too into it. beating the Nuggets, and then the last game, really, who cares? It's the last game against the Kings. That win doesn't really mean that much to me anyway. Let's go to the Blazers just real quick. No, actually, we even don't, because I already know. We just said it. I mean, close wins down the stretch in their last couple games. They ended up winning, so, that's good. We have to give them credit for that, but very, very close wins. So, do they match up well? They kind of do. Nurkic versus Anthony Davis. Zach Collins versus Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis probably will kind of eat early. Then we've got probably Carmelo on LeBron. That could be kind of bad for Carmelo Anthony, on the late leg of his career. Same with LeBron, but LeBron is obviously just more in shape. Carmelo Anthony has trimmed down a little bit, so we'll see how well he does. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum should really do very well against the Lakers starter, who is it, Caldwell Pope, and I wonder if they start Kyle Kuzma. I wonder if the Lakers start Kyle Kuzma to try and put on CJ McCollum and try to cancel out what he's done. But this is going to be close. I'm going to call it 4-2. I think I'm comfortable with that. It could go 6. But I think 4-2. I think LeBron shows up. I think he's going to be done playing with y'all. And he's going to show up. So we'll go 4-2. Very competitive series. I think very close games all around. I'm talking probably 1 to 4 point games in the first 2 or 3 games. And then, each team kind of finds it out a little bit and have some big good wins, and that's really how it ends. 4-2, close games the first 3 games, and then we go to game 4, probably Blazers win big, and then game 5, Lakers win big, probably game 6, it's close, but that's how I see it going. I just think LeBron and Anthony Davis, they'll get it together. And then just the clutchness will probably run out for Melo. And CJ McCollum hasn't really been, when Damian Lillard is having his fantastic games, like 35 plus points, 40-point games, it is hard for other scorers to get, big numbers. But CJ McCollum hasn't really been that really spectacular to me. He hasn't really been standing out to me. So, that is a little concerning. Damian Lillard is going to have to carry the load for 7 straight games. Can he do it? He just had to carry it for 8 straight games, 9 games, because they had to play that play-in tournament. So I expect the Lakers to win at 4-2. That's what I've got. That's my reasons. That's what I've got. All right, let's go to Clippers, Mavericks, 2 versus 7. This is going to be probably not that interesting. We all love Luka Doncic. He's good to go. Kristaps Porzingis, I believe, is also good to go. Let me double check that real quick. Kristaps Porzingis, game time decision, but we're talking playoffs. He's going to play. Clippers, their bench is good to go. Lou Williams is all cleared, reacclimated into the team. All good to go there. Playoff Kawhi, playoff Paul George is going to show up. No big deal. Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, they're going to do their things. Who else do we got? Joakim Noah. Hopefully we see him a little bit coming off the bench. Doc Rivers is just going to coach this team very well. Mavericks, they're fun to watch. They've been putting up a ton of points here in the bubble. I'm talking about almost like over 115 every night at least. Luka Doncic has been on an absolute tear, having some great triple-doubles, some great performances in general. Their bench is a little lacking. Boban Marjanovic, kind of underwhelming a little bit. Maxi Kleber, he's had maybe 1 or 2 good games, 1 big game maybe coming off the bench. Trey Burke, all right. But Kristaps Porzingis and Luka, really the LeBron and Anthony Davis, if you will, of this Dallas team. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's been doing good starting for the team as well. And Dorian Finney-Smith has been, pretty solid. Their starters kind of match up well. Dallas's starting 5 is pretty good, but this Clippers bench is just really something you have to keep your eye on. They have 2 players with, averaging 20 points a game off the bench, which is just stupid. It's literally just stupid. Reggie Jackson, Lou Will, getting it done. But, are we really going to bet Luka and Kristaps Porzingis over Kawhi and Paul George? I don't think so. Clippers have been a little shaky, so expect them to kind of just, kind of shut everybody up and when they go into the playoffs and just be like, hey, we're the best team in the West. Like, yes, we're the 2 seed. Yes, we kind of struggled a bit, but like, do y'all not know our roster? Do you all not know our talent? So I want the Mavericks to do well. I like Luka Doncic. I love Kristaps Porzingis, but we're talking about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I mean, that's really all we have to say. Zubac, can he challenge Kristaps Porzingis? Not great, but he's gonna be efficient. And they don't need him to be great because we already know Kristaps Porzingis is going to put up, good points. We already know that. Outside shooting is great. Inside is even better. But Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, I mean, they're going to start clamping defensively. They will start clamping defensively against Luka Doncic. So probably 4-1. Maybe 4-2. No home court advantage is really going to hurt the Mavericks. If this was just regular playoffs where home court is going to matter, I would say probably Mavericks can definitely steal 2 games at home, no doubt. But centralize the location, everybody playing on the same floor. We're gonna call it 4. Luka Doncic has really been on a tear. Let's give him credit. Let's go 4-2. Let's give him a little bit of credit. I think 4-2 makes it sound closer than the series is actually going to be. I don't think these games are going to be close. I think it's going to be obvious that the Clippers are better right from the jump. But I have to give a little bit respect to what Luka Doncic has shown us here in the bubble and Kristaps Porzingis. So 4-2, Clippers win. It's not as close as 4-2 sounds, if that makes sense to you. All right, let's go to the 3-6 matchup now in the West. Nuggets versus the Jazz. Now, this is going to be a little interesting here. Here we go with the we'll start with what do I got? Right up next, Utah. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell have kind of been stunting these last last 3 seeding games. Donovan Mitchell has really come alive. Rudy Gobert kind of challenging every center in the league and kind of winning. His defense has been kind of spot on. Great rebounding numbers for Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert off the pick and roll is kind of unstoppable. And then you got Mike Conley, the 3rd option. Then you got Joe Ingles, the 4th option. He can hit big time threes. Royce O'Neal's having some solid performances, no doubt. Jordan Clarkson, I've been very impressed with him off the bench. I love what he's been doing. He was on our cash list for a little bit. Well done to him. Georges Niang, kind of good, kind of all right. I think Maye Oni's been playing a couple games here. So this Utah team is not bad. It's not bad. Donovan Mitchell definitely needs to step up just a little bit more than what he's been showing us already in the bubble. Took him a couple games to really get it figured out, but now bubble game 4 or 5 really when the switch turned on for them. And Rudy Gobert, as always, has been kind of brilliant here. I'm very, very impressed. Defensive Player of the Year, we didn't do an award for that, but I would put Rudy Gobert maybe in contention of whoever y'all wanted to put in the to win, defensive bubble player of the year if there was one. Rudy Gobert could definitely make an argument for there. All right, let's go to Denver now. Michael Porter Jr., he was our rookie of the year for the bubble. I mean, his points, his contribution has really been wild. The one thing I don't like about Jokic is they kind of get away from what they do good, which is domination down low, Jokic down low, Michael Porter Jr. hitting the threes. But then you've got really, they start with Jokic down low the first quarter, and then they just slowly get away from it. He goes to hitting mid-range jumpers, and then he's at the three-point line. I don't like that strategy at all. Usually they lose when they start doing that. So that's the one knock I have on this Denver team. It's just real strange to watch. I don't know what the coach is thinking. I don't think the game plan works that well when you move Jokic away more away from the paint area. It doesn't really work. Mason Plumlee has been solid coming off the bench. Good presence down there. Presence down low there. Bobo we've seen in action having some great performances off the bench in low minutes, hitting threes, playing great defense, down low, domination. The man is freak. I don't want to say freakishly because that is an insult. He's kind of brilliantly long. He's stunningly long. It's just wild to watch the man play, just how long he is. His arms are ridiculous. He's obviously over, what is he, like listed 7'2", 7'3", just an absolute, in the best way possible, an absolute monster. But I think do I like the Jazz better? Do I see an upset here? I kind of do. I just think when Denver gets away from Jokic down low, it's bad for them. I love Michael Porter Jr., but I just think that this Utah Jazz, their starting lineup is better. The Nuggets are a little bit deeper. We'll see how much they play Bobo. He played a lot in the scrimmages, not so much in the first probably 1 to 4 bubble games, and then slowly started to be implemented in their last 4 bubble games, playing a couple more minutes. This is going to be a good matchup too. This will probably go 6 or 7, no doubt. I don't see a sweep at all. I don't see a 4-1 win at all. I don't see a 4-2 win at all. I love the 6 or 7 games going here. I feel like I give it to the Jazz. I love Rudy Gobert. I love Mike Conley being a third option. I love Joe Ingles, what he brings to the table. They're a little bit short on the bench. They are a little bit short. That's where their shortcoming is going to be. Hopefully Jordan Clarkson can carry the load most nights off the bench. But I just don't like the style of ball that Denver plays. Yes, it kind of translates to win. They do have the 3rd seed, so yes, they're doing something right. But I just don't like when Jokic starts to get away from the basket. I just don't like it. I'm going to have the Jazz in an upset 4-3. I like their starters just a little bit more. That's really it. I think, like I said, I think Denver's just a little bit deeper on the bench, but I love Donovan Mitchell. He's really starting to get it going. Rudy Gobert is fantastic defensively and down low. Joe Ingles and Mike Conley can hit some big-time shots. So we are going to rock with them, winning 4-3, go 7. But Michael Porter Jr., we can't overlook that man for Denver. He will be a fantastic scorer here for the Nuggets, as we've already seen, averaging 22 points and 9 rebounds. Just absolutely fantastic. Jokic, great player, but stay down low, please. Stay down low. All right, that brings us to our last matchup in the West. We've got the Thunder and Rockets, and this one is going to be kind of crazy. No Russell Westbrook early on. That is going to hurt the Thunder or the Rockets just a little bit. Then we've got Chris Paul, who's just kind of silently taking this role team squad. Can you name me a player other than Steve Adams that's on that? Let me get these players up. I thought I had them up. I don't. These rosters up. Can you name a player other than Steven Adams that's on the Thunder? It's a bunch of role players, y'all. It's a bunch of role players on the Thunder team, and Chris Paul somehow miraculously is getting it done. They're the 4 seed, y'all. They're the 4 seed. The Rockets are the 5th seed. Wild. Absolutely wild. Where do I want to go with this? We'll start with the Thunder first. I mean, Chris Paul, he's the one reason why this team is in the playoffs. He's the one reason why this team is competitive. He's the one reason why this team's the 4th seed. He's the one reason why they're winning games in the bubble. Steven Adams, he should be good to go. I know he did miss the last couple of bubble games. Let me just double check my notes real quick, my facts. So just Dort. Oh, we did have, what's his name? Y'all know the name. Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, he's back for the Thunder, which is brilliant. Chris Paul's Robin, if you will. So now they're going to be looking really good on the offense. They're going to be a little bit deeper now. Gallinari, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Lutz, Dortz. I believe Dortz will start coming off the bench now that oh my God, I blanked on his name again. Schroeder is back, so they will get a little bit deeper on the bench. Nerlens Noel, all right, he's an all right bench player. But, like, as I say, this is just a bunch of role players on this Thunder team held together by Chris Paul. That's it. So we'll see how they do. Hamidou Diallo, he's been having a couple of good games here in the bubble, solid contributions off the bench. And then, this OKC team is like the Raptors team. They need their starters all to have good performances, kind of great performances, if they want to have a chance to win these games, which they do because they have the 4 seed. These starters get it done consistently because of Chris Paul's excellent point guard skills. He knows when to pass, he knows when to score, he knows what to do, he knows when to screen, he knows all of that. He's a floor general. If you look floor general up in the dictionary, Chris Paul's picture is there, is what I'm trying to get across. The man is absolutely fantastic, and Steven Adams is one of the best bigs in the league. I'll say it. I love Steve Adams, fantastic player down low. And Chris Paul's kind of bringing Lob City to the Thunder a couple of times here. We've seen some big lobs, big dunks by this OKC team. So they're young, they're good, they're hungry, they want to win. And then that brings us to the Rockets team. We can go right here to the box score. As I said, Russell Westbrook, he's out, man, and that is a big blow for the Rockets. I don't care what anybody else says. I know, the criticism of Russell Westbrook, he jacks the ball, he's selfish, he's wild. I do agree with the wildness. He's a little wild, not totally under control when he's dribbling and all that. I get it. But, this Rockets team is kind of the old Rockets team, 2019 before Russell Westbrook got here. 2018, James Harden just trying to do it all himself. The one silver lining is that James Harden's a little bit more rested, so he can drive. We'll see how they call it, how the officials call this bubble game. I mean, we all know that James Harden can get a call whenever he wants in the regular season. They've been kind of calling it that way as well in the seeding games in the bubble. So we'll see how the officiating changes. Does it even change in the playoff games in the bubble? We'll see. Adam Silver, I'm sure he's instructing these officials on how to call the games in the bubble. And Adam Silver, he tried out the play-in tournament style format. So maybe he says, hey, let's relax on the whistles, or just says, hey, let's call it how we've been calling it in the regular season. So we'll see how that turns out. Small ball for the Rockets. It hurts them. They live and die by it. They live and die by the 3. They're putting up 3s. So I guess the Rockets kind of controlled their own fate. How consistent are they going to shoot the 3? How good is James Harden going to be without Russell Westbrook? We saw him in his last in the game where it was James Harden. He played, and then the following game it was Russell Westbrook, or the other way around, where they each had like their own games by themselves. James Harden won his game and put up 35 or 37 points, something like that. And it was kind of good without Russell Westbrook. And then Russell Westbrook lost his game where he was the only one starting. It is going to be a blow. Russell Westbrook, I mean, he's a great player. You want him on your team. I would want Russell Westbrook on my team. The man's a dog. The man's hungry. The man loves the sport. The man's fantastic at his position. He's athletic as fuck. He's determined as fuck. He's resilient as fuck. He doesn't get tired. His stamina is fantastic. He's a great player. You want him on your team, no doubt. They're just a little small. Can Austin Rivers carry the load? That's when Austin Rivers had his 40-point game when Russell Westbrook wasn't playing. So we'll see how all that fares. This is going to be really interesting. It's kind of tough to call. It's kind of tough. I want to buy into the Thunder. I really, really do. But just looking at their depth chart, it's just It's just You got Chris Paul. And Steve Adams. That's really what you got. But the way this team is playing when you watch them is absolutely fantastic. The team ball is stunning to watch. They all go. They all make this the extra pass. It's so unselfish, like the Raptors ball, like the Celtics team ball. It's really all unselfish, and it's real fun to watch. Unlike the Rockets, you kind of have more, all right, it's my turn to take the 3. I'm shooting the 3. All right, I'm shooting the 3. All right, I'm shooting the 3. All right, I'm going to shoot 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 the 3. It's just a lot of 3s. They live and die by it. I really don't know where this one's seeing, but we're going to call it here. Let's call it. What do we got? Thunder Rockets. Do we buy into the Thunder? That's the real question. Do we buy into the team ball of Chris Paul? Do we count on, Chris Paul getting traded away from the Rockets? How much do we account all those storylines? James Harden and Russell Westbrook both coming from the Thunder. Chris Paul coming from the Rockets to the Thunder, switching teams. Do we put a lot of stock into that storyline? I think we do have to a little bit. Chris Paul is playing angry. And James Harden and Russell Westbrook want to be like, hey, we left OKC for a reason. We left them for a reason. They don't know how to handle great stars together, and that's kind of what we see here with OKC. No big stars. You got Chris Paul. You got one, and that's kind of what the Thunder were doing when they had Kevin Durant and James Harden and Russell Westbrook. James Harden was coming off the bench. They kind of forced James Harden out because he kind of didn't also want to play with Russell Westbrook. That was kind of another reason. But OKC ended up with one superstar. They didn't want to pay all those players. And now here we go with one superstar in Chris Paul. So they want to win their way. OKC wants to win their way. So far, they're winning their way. They have the higher seed over the Rockets. Man, this is tough to call. I've been big on the Rockets because James Harden, he's rested, he's healthy, he's not banged up, he can still drive to the hole. How are they going to call it in the bubble? Are we going to put our necks on the line and say Thunder with the upset? Is that what we're going to do here at Takes by Fans? We're going to call it 7. We're going to call it 7 because I honestly have no idea. We're going to call it Thunder in 7, 4-3. Give it to them. When you look at them on paper, you would say, "Oh, Rockets 100%." Why are we even having this discussion? But when you watch this team, it's so fun to watch. They're so fluid. They all know their strength. They all know their weaknesses. Chris Paul, true floor general. He's my favorite player in the league. Steve Adams, one of my favorite bigs in the league. Now Schroeder's back. Schroeder's all good. Chris Paul's got his Robin back. Let's take Thunder. Thunder win 4-3. You heard it here on Takes by Fans. Rockets upset that they will never live down. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, oh, it was the bubble season. I don't want to hear it. Thunder will never live this down. They'll have to reevaluate something because it's just first round exit after second round exit after third round exit, back to first round exit, back to first round exit, back to second round, back to third round, back to third round, never getting to the finals for the Rockets. Something's got to give in this Rockets team. The small ball is just going to come up maybe a little short here again in the bubble. Truly unfortunate. Alrighty, so to recap the Western Conference, we've got a 4-2 kind of close series in Lakers, Blazers. 4-2 Lakers win it. Then we got Clippers, Mavs 4-2. It's a little bit closer. It's actually not as close as the 4-2 makes it seem. I think the Clippers are a lot better than the Mavericks. They just have Luka who can, threaten a triple-double any night. So we'll give Luka the benefit of the doubt, give him at least one win, and then maybe they sneak in a close second one. But the Clippers win it 4-2. Then we go to the Nuggets Jazz. I think this series is going to be very fun to watch. It's going to be close. It goes 7, but I do like the Jazz with the upset 4-3. And then we have the Thunder and Rockets. It honestly could go either way. I could see it going both ways, but we are going to stick with the Thunder. I love their team ball, and I think that's what's going to take the win here in the bubble. A good, solid foundation, a good floor general in Chris Paul, a point god, if you will, who knows what it takes to win, who's been here before. He'll get it done, I think. The good camaraderie that this team has, this unselfishness that this Thunder team has, I think it does carry them over the Rockets just a tad, especially with Russell Westbrook not playing in the first couple of games here in this series. Maybe even missed the entire first round. We wish him to get better. We want that good competition. We want, full rosters to be healthy. We want to see good teams going against good teams in good matchups. That's what we're all about here at Takes by Fans. Great performances. We don't want to see any injuries. We want the best versus the best night in and night out. But unfortunately, Russell Westbrook not here. That is going to affect the Rockets. I don't care what anybody says. Thunder win it in 7, 4-3. That's what I've got. Alrighty, so today is the first day of the playoffs. Let's clean up our cash trash list. I know we have some people on the cash list that are no longer playing because they got eliminated from the bubble. So let's clean that up a little bit here, and then we'll go into our moneymaker, and then we're out of here. So here we go, cash list. Devin Booker. I mean, it was fantastic to have you. I believe you were on here the entire time. Absolutely fantastic, magnificent. Just unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards. You'd done everything that you could have done physically possible. You won all 8 of your bubble games, and I give you the hell of a credit because, in our NBA refreshers, when we were going over every team, we were saying that it was going to be hard for even the Lakers and the Clippers, the Bucks, the best teams to go win all 8 games. I was saying only 5 or 6 really possible, and you blew that out of the water and made it 8-0. So, I mean, absolutely well done. Devin Booker, I got to take you off the cash list, but you're only being taken off because you're no longer playing. So great run there by Devin Booker. I even put the entire Suns on here on our last show just because, they kind of deserve, a little bit of fame, a little bit of praise. So we put them on the cash list, the entire Suns team. I mean, Devin Booker didn't win those games all by himself. Great coaching job, great role players, great off the bench as well, all around. So the Suns, love to have you on this cash list. It was fun. Unfortunately, you have to come off. All right, that brings us to John Morant. I mean, once again, good performances. Just unfortunately, you just couldn't get it done. I mean, your stats were good. You individually were good. They just did not translate to wins, which is truly unfortunate. But I mean, it sucks. It sucks. You had the 8th seed coming in, you lose it, and then you lose in the play-in tournament. It sucks. Unfortunately, you have to come off. Buddy Hield for the Kings, you got to come off. You had a one good performance. You were on here just a little bit, one game, I believe. We can leave Jacques Vaughn on. Darius Baisley and Mike Muscala, they're out, right? I'm trying to remember who they played for. My fault. Currently on the Thunder. All right, we're good. We're good. Who was the other one? Darius Baisley. I honestly can't even remember who these players play for. I put them on because we were kind of scrounging for players to put on the cash list. Thunder as well. All right, that's what I thought. I knew they were from the same team. All right, so we'll keep both of these guys on. And trash list is still good. It's just Tyler Hero. He had a great performance when we put him on, but he missed the buzzer beater for the win. So, unfortunately, he has to be on the trash list. All right, so we're all good. We're all good to go. Going into today's game for the cash and trash list, all updated, all good to go. That leaves one last thing to take care of. We got to get you some money, y'all. Some money in your pocket. Come on. Y'all want it. I want to give it to you. Here we go. The 4 games today. Probably should have done that first. Let's do that first. I didn't look at the lines yet. Let's predict some here. We got Jazz Nuggets. Ooh. First game of the playoffs, and I want to see the series so bad. I'm expecting probably the Nuggets minus 2.5. So if that happens, I want to take the Jazz plus 2.5 all day. That's how I kind of see maybe where Vegas is going with it. Raptors Nets. Raptors is probably going to start off minus 7, and we probably won't touch that game. Maybe we touch Raptors minus 7. It's just going to be a lot. The Nets are coming off a good performance, a 1-point loss where they scored over 130 points against the Trailblazers. So it was a close game. They almost upset the Blazers and sent them home. But, that's kind of all they were playing for. We'll see how Jacques Vaughn is coaching this team. I'm assuming that he's coaching them to win. We'll see if the players buy into it. That's really what we have to keep an eye on this first game going in. Then we get 76ers Celtics. This is probably going to be Celtics minus 5 or 6. And I think we'll take it because this Celtics team is ready to let it loose. I'm telling you. Kemba is no longer on minutes restriction. And Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward, they just want to play for something meaningful. And now they have their opportunity. Pretty much already locked up into that 3rd seed when they got to Orlando. And now they're finally in the playoffs. They're ready to let it rip and show everybody what they've got, put the league on notice. I expect a good, big first win out of here for the Celtics, especially without Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid should be good to go. I expect them to win, so we may even swallow those big points that Vegas is pushing down on the spread. Hopefully it's not as big as 5 or 6, but I think it's going to be 5 or 6. And then the nightcap, Mavericks, Clippers. Okay, this is going to be interesting. The first game, Clippers should be eager to prove themselves, kind of like the Celtics. Mavericks, they're looking for that quick upset to kind of startle the Clippers, knock them off. So they want to get that first game too. I think the spread for this first game is going to be a little close, probably 3 or 4 for the Clippers, minus 3 or 4. And it may be tough to take them, but we may have to. Let's get right into it now. Let's see how close we were. All right, we're starting with the Nuggets Jazz. We said it was Nuggets minus 2.5. What do we got? Minus 4.5. All right, are these spreads being a little bit higher than we predicted? Oh my God, Nets Raptors minus 10. What did we say? Did we say 7? I think we made it 7. This is going to be tough to play. But first, let's get into Jazz Nuggets. Jazz plus 4.5. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I like the Jazz overall in the series. I think their starters are better. Nuggets are a little bit deeper. But when Jokic gets away from the basket, which they pretty much do every single game, that's when the Jazz can really strike. Plus 4.5, I think, is a great spread. These playoff games should be pretty close. Jazz Nuggets, I'm meaning. These games should be, in general, pretty close. So 4.5, I love it. We'll take it. If you want to get real crazy, you go to the money line, put the Jazz on the money line. That could potentially happen. I think this is your best bet for an upset. Jazz money line, but we are going to play a little bit more safely here. We want to get you money in the pocket. We don't want to push our envelope, push our luck. So Jazz plus 4.5 is a fantastic bet. Take it. Nets Raptors. It's going to be tough. We all know that the Raptors are going to win the series. How is it going to break down game wise? That is to be determined. Let's not jump ship on the Nets being competitive too quickly, right? Jacques Vaughn's got them playing well. They were able to beat the Clippers. They were able to beat the Bucks. Yes, in that Bucks game, I get it. Chris Middleton and Giannis only played like 15, 18 minutes. I get it. But the fact that they still won against the Bucks bench is fantastic for what this Brooklyn Nets is in the bubble. So plus 10, it's a little rich. It's a little rich for me. If I had to take it, I would probably take the points. I'd probably take the Nets plus 10. We are going to try to avoid this game. We do want at least 3 games, so we'll see if we can get some good bets on these other 2 games. All right, Celtics and 76ers. Celtics minus 6.5. And we said right around there, I think we said 5 or 6, 6.5. I think we have to swallow the points. I really love the Celtics shooters, and they're ready just to play for something. 76ers, huge blow for Ben Simmons not being there, so they may just be a little, down and out. Celtics minus 6.5, I think, is the good play here. Let's finish it up with the Mavericks and Clippers. Once again, 6.5 in it. This is so tough. How competitive are the Mavericks going to be? I know the Clippers are going to kind of be like the Celtics, where they've got something to prove. They lost to the Lakers opening night. That's still bothering them. I can guarantee you that. Lou Williams is good to go, back on the bench, full minutes, full healthy, full stamina, full rhythm. He's good. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, obviously they're going to get it done. But how good is Luka and Kristaps going to be here? How competitive is this series going to be? It's all going to be set by this tone in the first game. Are the Clippers really just going to blow them out? Are they sick of the shit? Are they ready to prove that they're the best team here in Orlando? Or are the Mavericks going to put up or shut up here by having fucking Luka Doncic putting up a triple-double, like a wild triple-double, like 34 points, 20 rebounds, and 15 assists, triple-double, like he's done before already in the bubble. How well is Kristaps Porzingis going to play? Let's check that Twitter account that I do like, the Fantasy Labs NBA. Let's see if they have an update on Kristaps Porzingis. We do know that he is a game-time decision. I would put money on it that he is going to play. I mean, this is a playoffs we're talking about, y'all. They didn't come to Orlando, did not play. So let's check the Fantasy Labs real quick, just to see if we have any news on Kristaps Porzingis. All right, lineup note. Nuggets will start Jamal Murray, Craig Porter Jr., Millsap, Joseph. So we knew that. We knew that's how they were going to play it. And the Jazz are going to start Mitchell, Ingles, O'Neal, Morgan, and Gobert. All right, no Mike Conley. What's going on with him? Juwan Morgan is starting in place of Michael Conley. Now, this is a little bit interesting. Let's see if we can get some information on the... what is going on with... a lot of people do not like it. I don't like it. What's up with Mike Conley? Is he no good? I didn't think I saw him on Mike Conley. Personal, he's out. Oh, he did. He left the bubble. I forgot. Mike Conley's out in the bubble. That's going to be a little bit of a big blow to them. Now the 4.5 is starting to add up a little bit. Do we change it, or do we still like it? This is going to be interesting. We're going to still rock with it. Mike Conley, he wasn't a big reason why we like the Jazz. He was a little bit of a piece. We like that third option scoring from Mike Conley. Luckily it's not Rudy Gobert. Luckily it's not Donovan Mitchell. So we'll see. Donovan Mitchell can, take over the game if he needs to now. A little bit more freedom, not having to feed Mike Conley, a little bit. So we are going to stick with it and see how it plays out this first game. And then we can, readjust when new information is out going into their second game. But we are going to keep it just because I think, I still like the Jazz just a little bit more. Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets. He's been, playing well as well. They match up very well. Very similar team, Nuggets and Jazz. But we are going to rock with the Jazz here, first game. And we still believe it does go 7. They're very much evenly matched. All right, so still nothing on the Clippers. So this one's going to be hard to take. Honestly, I think the Clippers, they're just ready to play and show out. 6.5 is just a little too much, I think. I'm going back and forth in my mind. It's real quick. I want to say that the Clippers win big, but 6.5 is a lot to swallow. It sucks. It sucks to swallow 6.5 points when you're putting money on the games. Only reason why I'm doing it with the Celtics, I just love their starting lineup. Their shooters are real good. 76ers really don't have that. With the Clippers and Mavericks, the Mavericks kind of do have the scores like that. They've got Luka Doncic. They got Kristaps Porzingis. They can put up the points. They have been putting up the points. So if they get into a shootout with the Clippers, it's not going to end so well for the Clippers because it's going to be tight. Clippers need to play great defense. I wish we knew if Kristaps Porzingis was going to play. I'm almost certain, betting this, I'm betting that he is going to play. So 6.5, first game. Let's do the Mavericks. Let's see how they fare here. Let's see if they're competitive. We'll take the 6.5. It's a little bit of a different situation with this Celtics 76ers team. You only have Joel Embiid, and he's kind of a little bit inconsistent when he's all alone with no Ben Simmons. Luka Doncic, he's ready to carry the load whenever, and Kristaps Porzingis is there to piggyback off of him. So let's keep it there. This is the moneymaker. Bet it and bet it pretty good. $1,000 to $5,000. You want to kind of get your footing here. It's a 7-game series, so take what you learn on this bet and apply it to these next games. But put $1,000 to $5,000 on it, plus 598. So you put $5,000 on it, you win 25. You 30. Put $5,000 on, you win 30. You put $1,000, you win 6. So go and do that. And that's all we've got for today. Exciting playoffs starting at tipping off in about 7 minutes. So get ready. It's gonna be fun. Playoffs are finally here. Competitive. It's finally here, and we love it. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at TakesByFans. Be a part of the conversation. Get your updates. Get your updates basically. Just updates and current thoughts on what's going on in sports. And then come watch live Monday through Friday, noon Eastern on twitch.tv/TakesByFans. Alrighty, y'all. It's been great, and we will see you tomorrow.